Win a Pageant, episode 65. I created this step-by-step process after training thousands of women across the U.S. to win. Now you can have access to these winning strategies when you join me every Wednesday. Let's win a pageant. Hey girl, welcome to the Win a Pageant podcast. I'm your coach, Alycia Darby. One of my very lovely VIP clients recently asked me for advice about answering the final question in her pageant. Now, this is the question that makes most women the most nervous because in most pageants, it separates the winner from the others in the top 5. So when she asked me, I realized, most women would probably be looking for something about taking a deep breath or studying all sorts of questions until you know everything under the sun. But of course, she and I have been working together for many months, so she's used to me solving the root of the problem rather than just handing her a Band-Aid. So in today's episode, I'm actually going to share with you the advice that I gave her. These are my top 3 tips for answering the final question at your pageant. Now, I have done several training episodes on the specifics of answering your onstage question, which I suggest that you take a listen to as well. So I'll put those links for you in the show notes at winapageant.com/65. But today's episode is going to look at the final question with a more holistic approach so that you actually can feel really, really secure in your answer and super confident. The first concept that you have to understand is that most women show up to that final question feeling really judged and responding to that judgment by attempting to perform and create this ideal answer that will make the judges just so proud of you. And that is not the best way to approach this. When you do that, you are subconsciously giving the judges the power to control you, but really you are positioned above them with far greater power. So my first tip is to flip the power dynamic. After all, you are the one with the microphone. You've got all of the audience looking at you. Everyone is hanging on your every word. By flipping the power dynamic, you're actually envisioning yourself as the one more in control of the outcome, and you will instantly clear your mind from all of the emotional cobwebs that you would otherwise have to sort through in that moment. I also recommend doing this before your interview. And the reason is because when you are feeling judged, when you walk into a situation, and I know that you've experienced this before because we all have, when we walked into a situation and it just doesn't feel comfortable, like you really feel like the other girls in the room are catty or everyone's looking at you. Are they judging me? Should I really have worn these shoes? Or what's happening with my hair? We always feel these kind of tensions when we are giving other people the power. But when you flip the power dynamic and you see yourself as responsible for making everyone else comfortable, and you take control of the situation, you say, who cares about this and this and this going on with me? But rather, I want to put my attention and focus on how can I help others? How can I serve? When you take control of that power that you've got to influence other people from standing on that stage, you really do have that power. When you reclaim that, you're already positioning yourself to give a really phenomenal answer that serves people rather than gives them the answer that you think that they want to hear, which makes everybody uncomfortable. So flip the power dynamic. Now, my second tip is to flood your thoughts with your essence, the essence of who you really are. Let me explain how to do this. On any given moment, our minds are always full of thoughts. They're generated from our environment around us. So remember when you would cram for a test in college and it would actually work? And it reinforces the behavior, I'm just going to keep cramming for tests because it actually works. I know for me, I would do this in English class in high school. I would actually cram for spelling tests. I was not excellent at spelling, and I was not excellent at all those SAT words that they gave us in the vocabulary classes. And so I would cram and I would just be looking at the word and then looking at the definition, or looking at the word and trying to figure out how to, okay, that one has 2 L's, this one has 2 L's, this one has 2 L's, okay, got it. And then I'd be on to the next word. This level of cramming actually works because you are getting all of this information flooding into the front of your mind. I tell all of my clients to cram before their onstage question. Now, of course, we also do all of the work necessary to quote unquote study who they are prior to that onstage question. But by the time the onstage question rolls around, I want you to forget everything else. I want you to forget all the drama that's happened backstage. I want you to forget how you had a little trip in your evening gown or something. Forget all of that, release it all, and focus only on the essence of what makes you, you. And that would be your core values, your strengths, your deepest beliefs, not just about yourself and about your world, but also about your platform and about the pageant, the experiences that you have that would help you be relatable to others, and your top 3 goals for winning the pageant. When we're nervous, it's hard to tap far into our thinking mind, and instead we just pull the information from whatever's at the top of your mind. So you've got to flood your mind with all of those ideas of the essence of who you really are in an organized manner moments before you go on for your onstage question. Now, it's important to, of course, practice this method so that you know how to do it on a moment's notice in a high-stress environment. If you're able to do that, then everything that spills out will align with your true essence. And that's who the judges really want to know. Now, my final tip is pretty simple. It's to just be honest. Being honest is a more concrete way of saying be yourself. You've probably heard that a million times. That phrase, be yourself, is largely misunderstood because it's hard to imagine being somebody else. So you're like, what does it really mean to be myself? Am I supposed to be quirky, or am I supposed to be funny? Or, we try to be this exaggerated version of what we think is awesome or something. What that phrase is really trying to encourage is that you be honest with who you are rather than hiding your insecurities or trying to be perfect. Nobody believes you when you're trying to be perfect, okay? You are not fooling anybody. And plus, perfection is annoying. And honesty is endearing. The first time that I landed in the top 5 of a state pageant was in my early 20s. The question that I got was from this beautiful mid-30-something judge who asked me, what kind of mom do you want to be? My answer was a hideous pageant answer. It was like, I want to be the type of mom that my mom is. She's very supportive and caring and loving. And, I kind of dragged it on and on and on. And however lovely that was, it was a total lie. Not that I want to be a terrible mom, of course, but the truth was that I did not even think I wanted kids. But I peered down at this beautiful judge, wanting so badly for her to like me that I just made up this beautiful lie, And in hindsight, what I wish I would have said is, I haven't even decided that I want to be a mom yet. I'm hoping to one day meet a man that I want to marry, and I'm trusting that when that happens, I'll feel inspired to have children. And then I'm sure that my mom vision will fully come to life. If I would have said that, I would have gotten a roaring applause. I would have been seen as completely transparent, very honest, trustworthy, likable, relatable to many people. But instead, my beautiful lie got a sweet little applause, and I was first runner-up. I could just kick myself for doing that. And I could feel it in the moment. I was like, I don't even know if I want to be a mom yet, Now, of course, now I'm 32 years old, and my mom vision is fully coming to life. But that wasn't where I was at when I was in my 20s. I just knew that it was on the horizon. And gosh, I just want to share that story with you because it is really what transitioned my career in pageantry. And I'm telling you this story because this stuff really does happen. In that moment, I just wanted to be liked so badly that it clouded my mind and it shaped my answer. And I still gave a very beautiful answer. And I do want to be a mom that's very supportive and caring and loving and all of that, right? But it wasn't really, really, truly the essence of my belief of myself in that moment. This is one of the most memorable experiences of my pageant career because it was in that moment that I began to see myself as a unique individual. And I started to speak my truth with grace and with love like I never had before. I never lied on stage again. But what happened instead that's really, really beautiful is that I developed a really lovable interview personality. All on my own, by the way. It was just this unapologetic, fully in love with me. So a quick recap. We're going to flip the dynamic. I want you to see yourself as completely in control and fully powerful. You're the one with the microphone. So you've got to be impressing people in a way that inspires their action and that really just gears them up with your motivation and information. The second piece is you've got to flood your thoughts. So before you even step onto that stage, flood your thoughts with your essence. What makes you spectacular? And finally, be honest. Come from that place of just total love for yourself. And that, my dear, is how you win a pageant. If you're looking for more trainings and free resources to help you win your pageant, please visit winapageant.com. I'll see you next Win a Pageant Wednesday.